This is IQMZ Tech, Episode 7, recorded Sunday, September 30th, 2018. Hello and welcome to IQMZ Tech, the show where we talk about some of the biggest tech news stories with people who are passionate about all things electronic.
Yo, what up? It's your boy JJ Stone, KO Doctor. How you doing today, Amos?
I'm doing well. I am fameless, aimless is what we're going to go with today, because I feel like I'm not known by as many people as need to know me. I don't know if that's.
We could change that. Yeah, we'll do some spam ads, and get your face out there, put you on a wanted poster.
I should just start
a couple of Facebook ads.
I was gonna say I should just start tweeting about some stocks that I own. It seems to work for people.
That might work out for you. It might work out for you.
Hey man, before we get things really kicking off, let's go ahead and wish Google a happy 20th birthday.
Happy birthday, Google.
They're celebrating with a whole bunch of Easter eggs, little videos, little searched clips, basically they're messing with the web on their 20th birthday. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to try to find them all.
My favorite one was the pager one. And they have clips from movies where people have pagers and stuff. Man, pagers used to be the jam.
Yeah.
I thought I was so cool when I had a pager.
Oh,
and
yeah. Kids
could get them because they were only like $10 a month or something stupid after you bought the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pagers were awesome.
Yeah. My mom's name is Lois, so she could put 5107, and then if you flip it upside down, it actually says LOIS. So
that's nice.
Yeah, we had little codes for people and everything else. Like there was a whole language, like the 143. That all came around because of the pagers. Man, it was bomb diggity. Yeah,
all the stuff you used to do. Yep. And it's funny because it's all the stuff you could do on calculators that translated to pagers. But kids today don't know anything about pagers, but they also don't know about payphones. Because you got a page and you had to go find a phone. And you can find phones out on the street to call somebody back. You're like, oh, you beat me? Like, yeah. Oh, pagers. I miss them so much.
Remember when payphones were only 10 cents? Like you literally just drop a dime in there and make a phone call?
Do you remember collect calls?
Yes.
Like, now you only get collect calls like if somebody's in jail. But collect calls used to be like, okay, you're at a payphone. You don't have any money. You gotta do a collect call to somebody. Like,
and it was always like you if you could, you try to condense the message down into the name, because it would ask you your name and to give you like 2 seconds, and you try to say everything you could in there to where they didn't have to pick up the phone. They just knew. Like it would say
464. Call me back.
Yeah, it'd be like they pick up and be like, "You're making a collect call. Please say your name." And you'd be like, "Corner J10 and 5th."
Right? Oh, those are the days. Yeah,
yep.
See, Google's about to be legally old enough to drive and drink and do drugs and do all the things. As soon as they hit 21, boy, it's over. They ain't stopped. They can't run a car yet. They got to be 25 to run a car. But 21 is coming up.
Yeah, they're reaching that tender age of young adulthood where I don't know, if we don't know who they are by now, I guess we'll never know.
Well, they dropped their "Do No Evil" slogan, so I know exactly who they are.
That was just an adolescent lie anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. And they're currently trailing. They made such huge mistakes. They let Amazon leapfrog them as the owner and lord. They let Facebook steal them on social. Like Google's got, Google has Google, but they need something else besides Google.
But think of all the early wins they had, though. I mean, they shuffled Yahoo almost out of existence. They shuffled AOL completely gone. You know, DuckDuckGo is really their only major competitor on the worldwide stage, even. So
yeah, and I do understand that. That's why I'm saying, like, you know, they have Chrome now. They have Chromebooks and things like that. But I feel like the way the future is about sales and service. You need to sell things to people. Yeah. And they still have Google Ads. They still have Google Search. But I just mean I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll just stay in their lane. I envisioned a world of Google socks one day. Like that's we be just buying, you know what I mean? Like Google socks and Google underwear. And it seems like now we're going to be buying Amazon socks and Amazon underwear. So, you know,
the thing that gets me about it, and going back to your point of us being old, our kids have never grown up without Google. But then I look back and they're 20 years old, and I've been on the internet for about 22, 23 years. So it's almost like I don't know an internet without Google. Like it's still almost the same effect. It's just that I remember before internet, and the kids never will, but I barely remember before Google, because once Google hit, like it was just, you mean it's fast? It loads up quickly. It gives you results. There's not a bunch of ads on the main page. It was such a striking difference from everything else that I immediately switched. Like day one, I switched over to Google.
Yeah. What were the other ones back in the day? Ask Jeeves.
Yep.
Like you said, Yahoo, AOL. I guess everything went through AOL back then.
So many people thought AOL was the internet.
Yeah.
So
I mean, literally, to them, it was the internet. That was your pay provider. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how you got on, and you had to hear that little sound, that little ding. You had your AIM. Man, I miss AIM.
Yeah.
I'm about to log on my AIM and see if I got get some of my old flames back. You know what I mean? I got so many good contacts on my AIM, man.
I used to have that. What was that program that would combine ICQ and AIM and all the little chats and stuff like that? Man, I had that going. Jam. Like that was the only thing in my startup menu. Like, you know, I'd turn my computer on. That was the only thing that automatically happened, was that program starting up and logging into everything.
I'll find that. I have screenshots of that.
Yeah,
actually,
that was great. But it allowed you to avoid the stupid little and you've got mail and all that crap.
Yeah,
that was like the biggest benefit of it. Yeah.
ICQ, man. ICQ. I love you, ICQ. You did so much for me in my early days of the internet. I appreciate you, ICQ.
Oh man, let's go from the early days of the internet to the current day of the internet. Apparently, this new iPhone's a big hit. This big iPhone is a big hit.
So, you know, we're not going to talk too much about it because we've been talking Apple the last 3 weeks, but that's because Apple released stuff and that's what people do. Mm-hmm. But man, that Max is the jam. It's sold out. I can't get it. And the more that I can't get it, the more I keep telling myself I should just wait. But obviously the 256 is the one that's super selling because who wants 64 gigs?
Right. And the 512 they can't get because of just a natural shortage in resources.
Yeah. For Apple, apparently it's a shortage in resources. Samsung doesn't seem to have that issue.
It's because Samsung and LG are building the memory chips. They're not going to parse out all their stuff. They're going to make sure they have enough before Apple has enough, regardless of contracts. That's just pure money.
I guess I don't like it, and Apple needs to do something about it. But anywho, they need to fully understand it. Well, see, there's an article I read about women complaining that Apple was sexist because they don't make small phones anymore for their size hands. And I'm thinking, well, sales are telling them that they need to make bigger phones. Right. Male, female, whoever, you know, and they're not only that, their phones are smaller than the other phones in the market comparatively to Samsung and stuff like that. So I'm like, and now these sales bore out. People want the bigger phone. They want the bigger screen. Because to them, they're figuring if you're already going to spend $1,000, and what's $200 more to do $30 instead of $25 a month? You know what I mean?
Who are
I might
these
as well
women?
Get the bigger screen.
Who are these women that want the smaller screen? Because my teenage kids, my very short, like under 5 foot, 16-year-old twins have iPhone 5Cs, which is the old form factor that is basically just a little bit taller than the iPhone 4. And it's too small for them. Like they're constantly like, oh, the screen's too small. So if the smallest women I know want a bigger phone and they have the smallest pockets I've ever seen in my life, who's wanting smaller phones? Like, is this really a market? Because clearly Apple's sales numbers are showing otherwise.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if I discussed it with you, but I offered my daughter an X, and she has a 6S Plus. She held it in her hand and said, I'll keep the 6S Plus because it's bigger. Right. And I'm like, but the screen's bigger on the 10. And she's like, I don't care. it doesn't feel bigger in my hands to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm probably gonna end up getting her a Max too, because she just doesn't like the smaller screen. But yeah, I read that and I'm like, what are you talking about? And these sales, like you said, they bore out the fact that people want bigger phones because they're outpacing the XS by itself. Which again, if you have an X right now, there's no reason for you to upgrade. And if you do upgrade, the only reason to upgrade is for the bigger screen.
Right.
Yep. And that's the issue that Apple seems to have. But we'll see what happens when the XR comes out.
Yeah, but even the XR is still the same size as the X though, or the XS. It's LED screen instead of OLED, so that cuts down the price a little bit. It's only got one camera, so it's basically just a trimmed down version of the X.
I think it's 6.1. I think it's 6.1 versus 5.8, so it is a smidge bigger.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah. Again, who cares? The Max is where it's at. The Apple Watch is flying off the shelves.
Of course, because the 3 was amazing.
Their biggest hit.
Yeah, the 3 was amazing. The Series 3 was amazing. So the Series 3 was really the final evolution of that form factor, and then they changed the form factor slightly. They made it a little bit thinner, but a little bit wider and taller. And of course, that's going to be like the next big hit, because that's kind of what everybody's waiting for, is the next revision of the form factor itself. It's what I was waiting for. I'm excited to get it, but I can't afford it yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna bust a move or not, and sell my watch and get it or whatever. But the longer I wait, the less I get from my watch. So it's either here or there. But Apple's doing great. Yay, Apple. Go Apple. Blue Apple. Who cares?
I think this is more of a bellwether for all the people that have been saying that Apple's on the decline and everything else. Their most important product is selling off the shelf. Like they can't even get it on the shelf. So
my complaint is they're not in decline. Their innovation is in decline. My thought process is all they do is raise the price on the same standard products. And so they're making money, yes, but they're not innovating anything anymore. They're not making anything new, and they're behind on all the things they adapt with the phones. So that's my big thing about that. But they're making their money.
Let's see. Facebook hacked, 50 million users affected. This is kind of a special event on this one, because this is not password hacking. This is not brute force hacking or anything else. This is a clever hack to steal tokens. This is kind of ridiculous. They were using the view page as, or view profile as, someone else, and then getting that temporary token and then applying that to the next person. So basically they could see everyone's information by going down the chain, but they couldn't actually like really get anything, and they didn't get passwords. They didn't get a lot of private information, but it was enough to cause some issues and get all the information on the page.
I feel like this is an inside job, because clever is not the word I'd use. I'd use ingenious. The fact that they use tokens in this manner to hack Facebook, because Facebook usually has very good security, so they know better than to try the regular route of attacking Facebook. So this is impressive to me.
Yeah.
At the same time, Facebook itself, not so trustworthy. They don't tell anybody for a month. Then it's reported that they're blocking people from talking and posting about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Facebook. I mean, I'm saying you don't want bad press on yourself, but it is what it is.
But I mean, we're talking about Facebook here. Does anybody really think they can trust Facebook anyway?
People don't even think about trusting Facebook. They just do, and they go along with it, and they don't pay attention to it. And then when something bad happens, they're like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Yeah, remember Facebook did the thing with the privacy?" Like, people just go along and use it and don't think about it, and then they start sharing update statuses that say, "Sharing the status will protect your privacy from Facebook," and I'm like, "That's not how privacy works. You can't just copy and paste the status that says, 'I declare you not to use my photos,' Facebook. That's not how it goes."
Yeah.
But people are dumb. And I mean, they said 50 million people were hacked.
Yeah.
And then they said they did a sweep on another 40 million people to make them re-log in with new passwords also. So I don't know if that means that the number they posted was a lie because they don't want to make it close to 90 million or 100 million, or if they're just being overly cautious. But
the scary thing about this, the scary thing that I see about this is they have 2 billion users and they're reporting 50 million. So even on their scale, it's like minuscule as opposed to the number of users they actually have. Are they really going to come out there and say, yeah, like all 200 million of them got hacked, man?
Yeah. I mean, it's again, because 50 million is only 2.5%. So
yeah,
you're like, oh, that's nothing. But oh man, again, clever way to get in on Facebook. I thought I read somewhere also that one of the hackers was posting that Zuckerberg's Facebook account was going to be deleted by Monday. And Facebook has obviously reported it, got the FBI involved and all that jazz. So, yeah. I mean, whoever this dude, whoever this collective, whoever they are, they're smart. And
this is actually my favorite kind of hack from the user perspective, though, because if you were affected. If you were affected, Facebook went through the process of logging you out of everything. They took away your tokens, so your tokens are not valid anymore. So you have to re-log in on every device. So if you just log into Facebook on your phone, through the app, on the web, it doesn't matter. Any way that you want to log into Facebook, if you have to re-log in, you
know they got you.
Yeah, you're possibly there. If you don't have to re-log in, if your token is fine, everything's working, you're good. Now, again, are we going to trust Facebook? We're talking about the company that if you delete your account, it doesn't delete your account. It just hides it from everybody because their database is so big they can't feasibly delete individual records. If you delete a picture, it's still in their database. They can't actually delete it because their database is so complex that they can't effectively delete it. They can just flag it to hide it from everybody. Like this is the company. This is the last company anybody should be trusting with anything ever.
And everybody who says they're going to delete their account, I was on one tech show guest, and the guy was like, it was the delete Facebook, whatever. He's like, I'm deleting my Facebook. I'm not going to use it. I'm like, I bet you $10 you won't last a month. He didn't last a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't. So, we're at a point now where 2/7 almost. Well, it's a little bit more than a quarter of the world is on Facebook. It's self ostracization. Like if you might as well be you might as well just give up your house and move out into the woods and try to live like one of those great poets of the whatever era. Just go out there and write stuff about ponds and trees and stuff because you can go be the Unabomber. If you're not on Facebook, you're either old enough that it doesn't matter, or you're putting yourself through social anxiety. It's ridiculous.
Or you're young enough that it doesn't matter. Younger people are living it up on Instagram and not signing up for Facebook as much.
Yeah, another Facebook company.
Oh yeah, I'm saying they're still in the Facebook ecosphere, but they're not on Facebook, and right. Facebook is where they want them to be.
Yeah.
So again, another company making moves for the future because they saw it coming, and
nobody's ready to stop them because nobody understands the breadth and width. And none of the people in power to stop these people, these companies, understand the reach that these companies are having. So.
Speaking of reach, what else is Facebook doing?
Oh my gosh. So they on your profile, there's certain information that you have that's explicit in your profile, and there's certain information that, well, as long as it's not linked directly to your ID, then it's not really privacy information. And Facebook's taking that information and letting advertisers access it so they can kind of wiggle their own way around the rules.
Shadow information. Shadow info. So this is why when people ask me why I'm a 64-year-old man on Facebook living in New York and LA, this is why. So I travel to New York and LA a lot. So people started tagging me oh, that I live here. And I was like, you know what? I do live there. You're right. I only see you once every other month, but I live there. And my age, I was born in 1949. People say, oh my God, you look so good for your age. And I'm like, yeah, I look great. Black don't crack. But I give out so much misinformation on the internet that it's ridiculous. I get ads from Facebook about old people dating sites. You know what I mean? Dating for single 70s. Like, you know what I mean? And
geriatric
like, hey,
Tinder.
Man, some of them old ladies be looking good than a Mickey fig, you know. I'm like, oh, what, girl, you 64? Okay.
Because they got all that ex-husband
out here.
They got all that ex-husband money that pays for them surgeries and stuff. That's why.
Man,
you get them special spa treatments.
Find the right sugar mama for me. So Facebook, I appreciate you. But yeah, they always give me the wrong kind of ads and things like that, and I give them misinformation. So if they're going to be out there, I assume they're out there selling my soul without my permission. So I done gave them somebody else's soul to sell, and that's just how it is. Again, who trusts Facebook? Who doesn't think that they're doing this stuff? The problem is that they keep getting caught. That's the problem. Why are you getting caught? You're Facebook. Better than that.
You should definitely know better. Like, can't you see the information of the people that are investigating you and, like, you know, stop that?
Now that's some CIA
like
NSA stuff.
If you're gonna go all out.
That.
Like, I don't understand this, man. If you just make it happen. But this is a matter of
be a criminal.
Yeah, this is a matter of linking. So these companies have all these phone numbers, they have these addresses, they have all the stuff they use to send you spam in your mailbox and everything else, or call you with the from the do not call list. And basically,
robocalls are out of control right now. Actually,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just stopped, just went through a series of them, and finally they're slowing down. It's getting stupid. They're calling it all kinds of all the hours and everything else, and I'm on the do not call list, and it's still there.
Yeah.
But what the advertisers are doing,
I thought cell phones were supposed to be a safe place for that, but
yeah, no, not so much. These advertisers are basically they're getting enough information from Facebook to link together different pieces and different methods of contacting you and building their own profiles based on what little information Facebook is giving them, and Facebook's like, it'll happen.
Yeah, I just. After all the stuff that happened with the political and the Russia and I'm just like, can't y'all take a year off from scandal? Like, just to say, hey, look, people are looking at us right now. We're not doing anything for a year. Just give us 12 months off, because these things keep compiling. And again, to what we said earlier, the average user doesn't think about Facebook's issues until something mass comes across their radar.
Yep.
Things like this compounding starts making regular people think about what they're doing on Facebook and why they're using Facebook. Again, not good. Don't get caught. Shut the computers down. NSA, spy shit. Get it done.
Now that we've established that you can't trust online companies, especially the ones that are really big, let's cruise on over to Snapchat, helping people register to vote. Like, this is not going to go wrong.
So this is one of those things where America is so far behind. There's other countries where they text to vote. They register their phone and their SIM, and they know that it's a person. You can only vote one time, and they've got these systems in place. And it's digital, so yes, it could be hacked or whatever. But anything anymore, what we've seen, can be hacked unless it's a paper ballot and they're hand counted. But even the hand counts come into question because people are fallible and evil and corrupt. But this is such a great thing. If it wasn't such a bad thing, the U.S. has shown that we can't do things simply and have them be trustworthy. As much as I applaud this, because, young people are on Snapchat, not as much anymore. Obviously, they're droning away from Snapchat. Just look at their user rating. Mm-hmm. But the more people you get registered to vote, the better. Half the country did not vote in the last cycle, mainly because we had two vipers in the pit. But some people were just affluent and didn't care to vote. So anything that gets more people registered to vote, great. But as you said at the outset, what could go wrong?
I really think that the most important thing we as a nation can do to get young people to vote is show that there's some sort of fairness and equality in the voting system and in the political system. And we're not doing that on any side, on any front, in any way, shape, or form. And we are just continually we're continually demonstrating that our system isn't geared for the people, it's geared for the system. And
yes,
if young people have a vested interest in changing government to make their lives better, they will be more likely to vote. And if they feel like their vote doesn't count, it doesn't matter that the system is already against them, which, by the way, it is, then they are not going to feel inclined to vote and not feel that they have a choice and that their choice matters.
Besides voting, we just need more young people to run against old people. And we also need to have, this is the problem with politics. You just need to have terms and conditions on the time frames that you can sit in office. Everything should be like the presidential seat. You can only sit there for 4 years and with an 8-year cap, and you got to be out. These lifetime positions on judges and Congress and Senate is just got to change, and it doesn't, and that's part of the problem. I mean, bah humbug, get off my lawn, stop listening to this crazy rap music. What's the last?
The first thing we need to do is just get rid of the Electoral College, and that'll start fixing things as they go through. That's the end of my political rant for the day. Tesla's in a little hot water. Well, more specifically, Musk is in a little hot water. And he was given a deal because so Tesla, Elon Musk tweets about taking Tesla private. The FCC is like, hey, that's stock manipulation, that's fraud, and you suck. We're going to come after you. They offer him, or the situation, the lawyers or whoever came up with $20 million, or no, they came up with Musk wouldn't accept or deny culpability. He would just be, yeah, this just happened. He couldn't be on the chair, or couldn't be chairman for 2 years. They'd fine both Musk and Tesla, and they required the company to hire 2 new independent directors, which they'd go on the board, but it wouldn't matter because the rest of the board already belongs to Elon Musk. So it was kind of like it was basically a wash. Like it was, hey, here's a parking ticket, move on with your life. However, Musk was like, that don't sound like such a good deal to me. I don't like that. What was he thinking? What's Musk thinking, denying something like that that's basically inconsequential?
So I don't know if anybody's watched the show Billions. Have you seen the show Billions? Oh my God, you got to watch it. It's on Showtime. It's basically this kind of stuff. Super rich people thinking that they're the smartest person in the room are insulted by the fact that they would have to pay a fine and admit to some kind of guilt. By accepting those terms, he admits to wrongdoing. Well, and his ego wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah, not legally, but personally, his own morals wouldn't let him do it. He says because
again, his ego. I don't care about his personal morals. His ego and the way he feels about himself. Now, Elon has been a master manipulator of his own market, and he's done so time and time again. 3 o'clock in the morning, thinking about a new car somewhere in a $35,000 range. He wakes up in the morning, stocks through the roof. Okay? He's like, I'm going to make 500,000 flamethrowers. Anybody want one?
Yeah.
Stock bumps up $2. He just makes freaking, $2 million off of a flamethrower. I got some boring hats. Anybody want one of these hats? Sells 1 million hats. Like he's gotten away with doing little jab moves all the time. But this time he fully traveled. He took 8 steps to the hole, and they're like, come on, brother. Look, we've been letting you skate a little bit. I mean, you've been out there doing a little 2-step, but you literally walk from the a half court to the rim. We can't allow that, brother. You can't say, I got enough cash to take like, you can't do it. And he's just like, what do you mean I can't do it? I'm Elon Musk. I'm going to Mars. We're going to Mars. You're not going to Mars, Elon. We're not going to have a Mars stage. Do you know how I know we're not going to Mars? This is off topic, but we're not going to Mars. The people that would build Mars aren't going to Mars. You couldn't pay the engineer, the construction guy enough money to leave his family to go off to Mars and start building some stuff in a dome tunnel cube. And all these rich people that think they're going to Mars, okay, well, who's going to build when you get there? What you going to do when you get there? We're not going to Mars. And I'm all about space exploration. I'm trying to get some light speed in our lives so we can travel to other galaxies and find that there's like a couple other Earths apparently. But you can't terraform Mars to make Mars work. And just because you land a little space rocket, cool story, bro. Elon is just out of his mind. He's a genius. And he's got this Tony Stark mentality. But in the real world, the SEC is like, yo, brother, you got to pay to play. And you can't play them games.
I have a different conspiracy, but I'll tell you how it all fell down first. So the New Deal, Musk will remain as the CEO of Tesla, which he would have been removed from the last one. He steps down as chairman for 3 years. He and Tesla will have to pay a $20 million fine each. So it's $40 million total. And nobody's going to be implanted on the board. So I think the overall win for this is that Tesla doesn't have to pay as much out of Tesla's money, because I don't think Tesla can afford it right now. No. The $20 million is something that Elon can scoop under and take under his own personal account. So it works out that way.
More flamethrowers. That's all he's got to do. Yeah, that's more flamethrowers.
And this maintains the integrity of the board of Tesla the way that Elon wants it to be, so that they don't have independent people sitting on the board and listening in on all the transactions and the private conversations that happen with Elon and his friends who are in charge of Tesla. I think that's what the end game is here.
Yeah. So when he did accept it, basically it's the same deal, a little bit more cash, but no people on the board. And no people on the board means he still controls the board. So stepping down for 3 years isn't a big deal. People are still going to do whatever he wants. And when he comes up with his crazy ideas of whatever, there's not going to be anything standing in his way. Yeah. Because the way Elon plays the game is like he's so down in the hole. And next thing you know, somebody throws him a lifeline and he rockets, out of the hole and into the atmosphere. And then you just wait for him to crash and burn again, and he goes back up again. And that seems to be the yo-yo effect of Tesla going forward and throughout history of the Tesla.
Yeah, and under this new deal, he maintains his status as CEO of Tesla as well. So he does have to step down as chairman for 3 years, but again, he'll stay on the board. He'll be the CEO, so effectively the board doesn't necessarily matter because it's all full of his friends anyway, and there's no independent people there to screw up his plans. Like this is a far more inconsequential deal than the last one was. So I think this is a net win for Elon Musk.
Yes, and again, gets to keep his little ego in check because they amended the things, and he gets to feel like I bent them to my will, and things changed in my favor. So, still not guilty. Yeah, 2020. That's what he's running on. Still not guilty. 2020. So, yay! I think that's it for today. Right? We're good?
It is. That's the important, fun stories to talk about for this week. Where can people find you, Owen?
At Odocta, IQMZ.com for the show and everything else that I'm doing, and that's about it for me.
You can find me at Ethan Caine, ETHANCAINE on the Twitter. That's really the only social platform I pay attention to because it's still free so far. Maybe
for now. Yeah. Until. Hey, all right, guys. Catch you next time. What?
Twitter's letting me organize my timeline the way I want to see it. Turns out I didn't want to see it that way.
I don't know. I miss Instagram being in chronological order. Like there's certain things I just want Facebook to be in chronological order. I just want to see all the people I follow and just know what's going on. I hate the fact that they're putting certain things in my face all the time because I'm missing valuable people that I follow for a reason, but Facebook never shows them to me. So, whatever. They've got their reasons. They're making money. And as I always say, they're free services. So what can I do? What can you do about it?
I just like having the option now. That's really what it is. I just like having the option. Yeah. So I can choose either way.
It's the little things.
All right. Speaking of little things, let's get out of here.
All right. Later, people.